Okay, I'm going to show you how you can set your team up in and out of possession. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to head over to team management, and then you have different tactics. You can, for example, create a new tactic. Okay, so I'm just going to call this, for example, test very quickly. And I'm doing this ultimate team, and then you can press edit tactic, and then for example here on the left hand side on this column you can choose all the different tactics, and you press R1 and you can choose all the different roles. So these they just only influences what formation you play. Now whatever formation you want to defend with, important, as out of possession, choose it here. So let's say I want to defend in a 4-3-3, and you just press yes, and then press R1 and then play a role. So you can see without the ball and with the ball. Now, with the ball, how you can choose a specific player position is by the roles. Now you can see, for example, Son has advanced forward. Now I can still put him in another role. He will still do that. He can play as a target forward. You can see he'll run along the line vertically if you're watching a normal game, but he doesn't get the role plus plus. It's not the okay, in my opinion, you don't have to worry about the role plus plus too much. It's not that they're going to perform terrible. It's that's not the case. They still perform good. It's that they won't be as good as making those runs, coming back in time, etc. But for example, I can make, for example, Tonali, I can put him as a center half, and I can then, with the ball, have a back five. Then, for example, I could say to, okay, you know what? I want, for example, to make these players a false back. And that way, I have, for example, my left back, both my left back and right back, for example, in midfield. So now you can see I've got like a nice 3-3. It's kind of like a diamond almost. So, not diamond, but it's got a 3-3-4 setup, or a 3-3-1-3 setup, as you can see. Very nice. And I can change it. So say, for example, I want Swanson to play on the wing, for example. I can make a half winger, and then, for example, like Rodrigo, let's say, for example, I want him to be inside forward. Let's say Williams, I want her to be, for example, an inside forward as well. And then let's say for De Jong, I want him to be, let's say I want to change him. I'll be like, okay, I don't want to play deep line playmaker. I want him to play, for example, a centre half. So you can create a back four, have both your CDMs in, and move your left back and right back in centre mid. And then, for example, I can then put Swanson, for example, back I can put it in a holding position, for example, like so. And then I've got like a 4-3-3 system, but I've got different players in different positions. But don't forget, when you switch to view, it's always going to be this formation. So whatever formation you choose here will be the formation that you're going to defend with. Remember that. And one thing is, you can't change the width. Remember how last year you could change the width of your defensive line? You can't do that anymore. So what you have to do effectively is you might have to go to this play and say, oh, you know what? I want this play to be a bit wider. Maybe I'll put them as a winger and I'll put them on attack. If you want your left winger to be a bit more, let's say on the inside, you might choose them, for example, you've got wide playmaker, your inside forward. You can put the inside forward to roaming, and you can see, look, I can change the position. Or for example, I could go with any different variation, and you can do a wide playmaker and stuff like that. So I can make that person more narrow, suppose you could say, to your team structure, and you can make that person more wider. If I want his Son to be a bit more wider, I could then, for example, put him as a wide target forward. But remember, whatever position you choose, make sure you choose this formation as your defensive shape, because you can't change your defensive shape, only your possession, or shape, should I say, with the ball. And that is how you can change positions very quickly in FC 25. Thanks for watching. This is sponsored by the EA Creator Network. Thank you very much, EA, for allowing me the chance to make this video and playing the game early.